Yo, what is up? Look, Sony has one trick. It's all they got. Sony needs to realize Spider-Man is all that they have, and they need to realize that quickly before they waste any more money on any more movies. And also, too, we have to talk about superhero fatigue. Yo, that's on a straight up cap. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse definitely proves that superhero fatigue is like 100% not a thing. People be getting it mixed up. Fatigue with quality, be getting it mixed up. And then we got to talk about some theory talk with TVA and Miguel. The TVA, Miguel, the Council of Kangs. How all of this stuff may be connected into what the Council of Kangs is doing. So pretty much saying Miguel could be working for the Council of Kangs. I want to dive into that and talk about that because I think it could be a very cool theory. Also, as well, when you think about it, that tech, a lot of the things that we see from Across the Spider-Verse reminds me of some of the things that we've seen in the TVA. So I want to connect the dots there. And then we're going to wrap a bow on this stream tonight with Wanda, apparently, Elizabeth Olsen, rather, aka Scarlet Witch, aka Wanda, apparently doesn't miss the MCU. Look, we got to talk about that. And like, do we really care? And at this point, are we just full on letting actors go if they don't want to do it anymore? So, with further ado, what's up? I am Kunch. You can just holler at me like, the channel name's King Kunch, but my name is Kunch. Great to see y'all. That's short for country, by the way, but I just want to make sure y'all knew how to pronounce it. Look, I want to highlight the people here live. Some of y'all catch on the replay, hit that like button or whatever, and subscribe to the channel. But to the ones that are here live, we got Daniel Fisher, Justified, MF. Justin, what's going on, bro? Chilling in the basement in Cyber Coastal. What is going on? And everybody else who's not in the chat. If you're in here and it's your first time in the chat, go ahead, put a little fist in the chat for me. Let me know you're here. It's great to see y'all. But I really want to go ahead and dive right into it because, like I said, man, Spider-Man is all they got, right? Like Across the Spider-Verse is all they got. Like let me start off here. We can start off by saying that Across the Spider-Verse is no doubt top 10, right? Like, there's no doubt like top tier 10 out of 10. For me, I struggle because Into the Spider-Verse was my favorite movie. In the Spider-Verse realm, right? In the Spider-Man movie, that was my favorite one. So I struggle from going to say, damn, this one was better than that movie. And that just might be personally for me, just kind of how much on the smaller scale and more intimate and personal that movie was, right? But regardless to say, like, this joint is top tier comic book movie of all time. Like, might have to go top 5, top 10 of all time. I don't want to get into that discussion now. But either way, look, out of all of that, right? Like, I think it's a consensus too that a lot of people are calling this movie the GOAT, right? A lot of people are giving this movie the praises. That's something that Sony wanted, right? And then also too, this thing is making buku bucks, bro. Domestically, internationally, this movie is making money that animated movies aren't guaranteed to make. So that's another check off their box, right? It's getting all the praise, getting all the critic stuff, people talking about it possibly being best picture, all of that stuff, right? But what if I told you that Sony isn't happy with that? What if I told you that wasn't enough for Sony? Like, for Sony, yeah, we're making this money. Yeah, that's cool, but they're not going to be completely satisfied with this movie until another 2 movies come out, right? Look, let me explain let me explain what I'm talking about here. Put your business caps on here. And let me ask you this. When you walked out of this movie theater and you had some time to think about it, maybe on your drive home, maybe the next day, and you think about where they're headed to next in the Sony cinematic universe, right? You think about where they're going to next. They're building out their story. And when you think about that scene where where Miguel is showing them the timeline, and they quickly put the web of life and destiny over top of that timeline to say, hey, this is our story. This is what we're focusing on over here on the Spider-Verse. Yeah, that multiverse stuff is going on, but this is what we're focusing on here. That made me think, well, you put the web of life in the middle of the movie, pretty much saying, we're building our own thing. To me, one of the hidden goals and low key goals of this movie was to create buzz for the live action films, right? Let me know what you think about that. To create buzz for the live action films is the main reason why they put all of their eggs in one basket into this movie. Why they went all the way out in this movie was to get you excited for movies like Craven the Hunter, to get you excited for movies like whoa, what's going on here? That was supposed to be on repeat. What's happening here? This was supposed to be on repeat. All right, you know what? We can come back to the screen here. I don't even know what's going on. I'll test out that later. Hey, but look, their main goal was to say, look, we are going to get you hyped for a Craven the Hunter. We're we're going to get you hyped for Madam Web. We want our Spider-Verse, this Web of Destiny story, to be so big that we want you to get hyped for our live action movie so you can go out and see it. To me, that was their one of the biggest goals that they can get. Like, I guess what is what you call a stretch goal, right? Like, that's what you call your goal to, yeah, we're making this money. Yeah, we're doing good here. But on top of that, we want to stretch it and go for making us money on on our next live actions. To say, you know what, this is great if we can make this money here on Into the Spider Verse, on Across the Spider Verse. But really, we want people to go to the movie. So let me ask y'all. Let me ask y'all in the chat. Does this movie, and I put the poll in there, and Lord Vito, Lord Vito, appreciate it with the $5 super chat. Says much love, homie. I'm still working, but I try to swing by after. Hey, no problem, bro. Just thank you for the super chat there, my man. Thank you for the super chat and the love. All right, but yeah, back to where I was. Let me ask y'all this in the let me ask y'all this in the chat here. Let me ask y'all this poll. Did this movie make you more excited for Madam Web and Craven the Hunter? All right, I'm gonna put that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think. Did that? Did this movie make that happen for y'all? And I'm gonna tell y'all, for me, not really. And it's a little complicated, but for everything that I've heard about from Craven the Hunter, it's a no. Like, there's nothing that I saw in Across the Spider Verse. There's nothing that hit in that movie that made me think, dang, I can't wait to go see Craven the Hunter. And then even to Madam Web, like, on face value, Madam Web seems like a movie I'm fine with waiting on until it comes out on DVD, right? Or on streaming. Oh, I didn't even ask the community. I hit add option. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. So that's where I'm stuck, right? Like, the movie is great. Don't get me wrong. Like, Across the Spider Verse is perfect, but did it hit on that goal of making you more interested to see these other movies? Did it hit on that goal of saying, "Dang, like let's boost this up. Like, we're going to come out with a part two." Think about it. Sony said this. Sony said we're going to split this up into two parts, which I love. Like, I'm not against them splitting up into two parts. But guess what? Two movies they put in the middle of that. They put Craven the Hunter and Madam Web in the middle of the two parts of this film, which is a clear indication that, hey, they want this to be a little bit like Infinity War and Endgame. Now, do I think it's going to happen? I think it's gonna go there? No. And by the people voting here, nah. Now, it's complicated because they could flip this around. If they do what they should have done with Madam Web and made this really about Peter Parker, which I am hearing like it's supposed to be a bit about Peter Parker. I would like for it to explain a lot more about the web of life, right? Like it is Madam Web, so we'd expect for it to explain more of that. That may draw you in. That may bring people in. But for me, you need heavy Spider-Man action. And that's what this all comes down to is that Spider-Man is all they got. At the end of the day, the point I'm making is they don't need to make no more live action movies that do not feature Spider-Man. You hear me? No more Morbius, no more Venom with no Spider-Man, no more Craven the Hunter, none of that. No El Muerto, like that needs to get scrapped. And I'm hearing that it might get scrapped. It really needs to get scrapped, and I hope it gets scrapped. No more of that unless it's attached to Spider-Man. Spider-Man, Sony, listen to me. Spider-Man is all you got. I don't care about nothing else you're gonna try to do. And to be real, like, yeah, like everybody's talking about how dope it is to have all of these Spider-Man and across the Spider-Verse. You talk that game until the movie comes out. You talk that game until the movie actually comes out. And then you actually have to sit there and watch a whole Gwen Stacy movie. Or you had to sit there and actually watch a whole Miguel O'Hara movie. Like we've seen it play out to where it's like, oh, these side characters are cool, but then when they get their own stuff, it doesn't hit like it's supposed to hit. And I'm talking to you, MCU Phase 4. Like we've seen that where you want to expand more than what you really should. And that's what Sony needs to realize. Sony needs to realize, like, yo, we got a effing hit on our hands. There's rumors out there. There's just leaks, rumors, whatever they want to call it out there. Pretty much a statement that this next Across the Spider-Verse movie is going to be it. And I'll talk about why here in a second. I think it really has to do a lot with live action. But there's a lot to say that this movie is going to be it. This next movie. So Sony needs to have their ducks in a row to say, we need to have a replacement Spider-Man. All right? Like that's it. Like it's as simple as that. Spider-Man is all you got and is what you're gonna lean on. Now, like I said, even if they do these side movies, like even if you want to make a movie about Craven the Hunter, Craven the Hunter better be hunting Spider-Man. And Spider-Man better be in that movie just as much as Craven the Hunter. You feel me? Like you feel me here? Like, yeah, Sony, you can shoot off and do some villain stuff and do some Morbius or you can do some of that stuff, but Spider-Man has to be prevalent. Spider-Man really needs to be the main one. And like I was getting into, you really at this point only have two solidified Spider-Men, Miles and Peter. As much as everybody loves these other variant Spider-Men, can we be real here? How many of y'all, I don't want to ask this because I know it's slanted, but to really be hyping to want to go see a Gwen Stacy movie? I loved what they did with Gwen Stacy in this movie. Some people are saying this is her movie. And you know what? It's they got an argument right there, right? But at the end of the day, after this, I don't think they can rest their laurels to say we have something to build this universe on. Like you have to go with Peter Parker and you have to go with Miles Morales. And that has to be what props it up. And when you go with Miles Morales, you got to do it right because it's not a given that Miles Morales is going to translate well on screen in live action. It's not a given. Like it's not a out of the park. Tom Holland knocked it out of the park, but it's really not out. Is really, especially the extra pressure is going to be on Miles Morales because like he's gonna. Is no given that they're going to knock it out of the park. So they just got to realize, man. All this to say, like I really hope because the way I see it playing out is that, of course, Into the Spider-Verse. I mean, Beyond the Spider-Verse is supposed to be getting delayed. So that makes sense. I get that. Let that be delayed over there, right? But you're fitting in these two movies here. You're fitting in Craven the Hunter. You're fitting in Madam Web. I don't know what the hell Craven the Hunter is about, but I have heard more about Madam Web and it connecting to to a Peter Parker. So I hope they market the hell out of that and hype that up because that's going to get people in. Like if they say, "Come learn more about the Beyond the Spider Verse," right? Like find ways to connect it to Beyond the Spider Verse, much like Marvel did with Captain Marvel and Endgame. Then that's the way to go. That's the way you move it up. That's the way you move the ball forward as as like your whole Sony plans. But at the end of the day, they need to realize they need to connect to the MCU because if they ever want to build anything outside of Spider-Man, that's just not it. And they're going to continue to waste money going there. So I think they are on the right track of wanting to connect with the MCU. I just hope they don't get cocky after what's going to happen and beyond the Spider Verse, and after what's going to happen um in Spider-Man 4. I just hope they don't get cocky with it. That's it. That's it. Let me see what y'all saying. Let me see what y'all are saying in the chat, though. Let me see what y'all are saying. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. I'm gonna scroll back up here. Donde S. Poll. Yes, man. It took me a minute to put in the poll. Mike Porter, what is happening, brother? What is going on? Old Dirty Squirty. It is good to see you in here, brother, as well. Let me see what y'all saying out here in the chat. Let's see. Maybe a little bit more from Adam Webb. I don't know if it is ATJ is enough to get me hyped for. Yeah, it wasn't enough in there to get you hyped for it. Kinda still. Yep. Buzz but for the Beyond. Made you excited to play the game more. A that game is going to be lit. Now, I really think they are going to do something to tie in the game with the movie a lot more than what may be expected. So that's a very good comment there, my man. Just made me think the name Madam Web. Yeah, it really is no excitement. Brooke Chin says, how's everyone doing? Anyways, Across the Spider Verse makes me a bit excited by the other films, but still skeptical. Brooke, that is on point. It makes you skeptical. Like, let's be real. The bad taste is in my mouth from I can't even say it's in my mouth. It's because I didn't watch it. I didn't go watch Morbius, but I know Morbius was trash. I know a trash movie when I see a trash movie. And when nobody tells me that I should watch a movie, then it's trash. Like, you know what I mean? Like if a movie comes out, people like, nah, I ain't watching that shit. You're gonna hear at least two people be like, no, you should really watch Morbius. You know what you never heard? You've never heard anybody to say, you know what movie is slept on? Morbius. You know what movie a lot of people should really go see? Morbius. You have never, ever, ever in your life had anybody even suggest that should be a possibility. Um, so, so yeah, they. I'm skeptical for those reasons. Either way, they're gonna have to market the hell out of Madam Web. If they do that, I would rather them put all a. That's facts, Justin. Did you read the headlines at Holly's? Yeah, I don't think it's now. I don't think they would have made that promise and not have gotten started. So there's something there. Maybe they have reads. Maybe they've already had reads done. You know what I mean? Like maybe they've already done some things to have their graphic work done, and now they're just going to do the lines. Um, because when you think about it, it makes sense for her to not want to have to record it yet because leaks, script get out. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to have to go down that road. So that makes sense to me. Like I think really what they did was probably get ahead. Like they know where they're going. Maybe they're going to work out the kinks of the dialogue between now and then. But I think for the most part, they've probably been putting in the work. When they say they've been working simultaneously, I feel like they probably been working backwards, right? Like they probably been putting in the work to get the animation stuff done. That's just my guess. I'm not into that type of shit that deep. But yeah. Let's see. I was thinking Spider-Man. Now, Black Cat is here's the thing though, Daniel. Like, can we equate Black Cat to what's a series that's come out that you just I don't know. Like I see the interest in those characters, but one unless it's in the MCU, because really like you don't got time to be invested in multiple like universes like that, right? But one unless it's in the MCU, and two unless Spider-Man is heavily involved in that. Like I'm just not here to see a side piece Black Cat movie or show. It'd be kind of like having the penguin, right? Like that'd be like having the penguin show. Like I'm just not interested in seeing it. It looks like it could be a good show, but I'm not interested in seeing it for what I go to go see comic book movie shows in for. Yeah, Black Cat would be dope though. And you know who they say should have got I think her name is Sydney Sweeney, the one that's in I think she's already in Madam Web. They said she would have been perfect for Black Cat, and I definitely see that. Let's see. It says, "I like Gwen and would like to see her in live action." Facts. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get down here. I'm so aboard for canceling a Mortal Me Too, bro. What is up, talented Mr. Griffin in the building? What is going on, bro? What's Josh OTV saying? Oh, definitely Spot's gonna do something like putting him back in another universe. He has no. I would like that. Right. All right. Matt. Still have both Spider-Man though. They won't on the live action side. Yeah, I definitely think they should come over to the live action side. Feel like in terms of difficulty, the animation grabs probably the hardest part when it came to making the Spider-Verse. It's facts. So they got yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, the girl from Euphoria, her. She's a Madam Web. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm at there. Like I just I just hope Sony just gets that and doesn't get their head too big here. On top of all that, but with that being said, let's get into the next point here, and that is this whole superhero fatigue. Um, I think it's safe to say that this movie, you're not hearing anything about superhero fatigue in this movie. Have you all heard anything about superhero fatigue? I ain't hearing jack about superhero fatigue, and I'm liking it, right? Like because I never really thought it was a thing. Like the movies that you liked and you enjoyed, you never really heard anything about superhero fatigue. I don't recall hearing anything about superhero fatigue for Shang-Chi. Nobody said anything about superhero fatigue for No Way Home. They did have things to say about fan service, but not superhero fatigue. This movie here, nothing about superhero fatigue. Really, Wakanda Forever, I didn't hear too much about superhero fatigue. I just felt like if you was gonna like that movie, you was gonna like it. If you were gonna go in there and give that movie a fair shot, more than likely you liked it. But if you wasn't gonna like it, you weren't gonna like it, right? You know what I mean? You know, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. But not just the bad movies. Like I'm not gonna harp on the bad movies like Thor: Love and Thunder. But let's talk about movies like Multiverse of Madness. That was on the cusp, but just didn't necessarily reach over it and hit it, right? Or movies like The Eternals, which some people appreciate, like myself, I really appreciate it. But for a time for that movie to come out and try to do something like that, it just wasn't right for the time, right? Superhero fatigue was hit on that. You had the Batman come out, and people liked the Batman because it wasn't really a superhero movie like that. It was more like a John Wick in a bat suit. But still, you had some people crying superhero fatigue because it wasn't universally loved. Basically, what I'm trying to say, if it's not universally loved, if everybody's not effing with it, then it was getting slapped with the superhero fatigue label. And I just think a movie like this rising to the top, and then you have a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy as well. It's definitely a quality thing. Like when you have a quality superhero movie, then you are going to have nobody talking about fatigue because it's a great effing movie. And I think the difference is too, when you think about Guardians of the Galaxy was by no stretch of the imagination a perfect movie, right? But you didn't really hear much of the fatigue on it. I think the movie was good enough to where people could just kind of feel like the quality, or maybe it was just a standalone MCU movie, right? Like, I don't think fatigue has come up with Guardians of the Galaxy. So, comic book hero movie fatigue is Cap, has been Cap, and will always be Cap. I think it'll always be Cap. Now, will there ever become a time where comic book movies become like westerns and played out? Sure, but I don't think there's going to be that type of advancement anytime soon because back then westerns were kind of easy to make. They were all over the place. They were kind of that the West life was the fantasy, right? That's why westerns kind of fell off because that wasn't no more of a fantasy that much. Now, even now, when we go watch it, it's more of a trip back in time as opposed to a fantasy of a cowboys of when the cowboys were really the superheroes back then. So superhero fatigue has always been Cap. Always been Cap. Look, I just had to make that quick sidebar on there. Let me find where I'm supposed to be at. Yeah. I had to make that quick sidebar. Let me see what y'all saying here. It's just been crappy superhero movie fatigue. Facts. It's been crack. Mike Porter says, I want nothing but Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, or any spider person would be better than a spider like character without Spider-Man. I see where you're headed there, Mike, but you're right. Either way, you need those people. I'm still seeing people tweet talking about superhero fatigue, but not in relation to this movie. Your point earlier about fatigue being equated with lesser made movies may be more accurate. That is facts. Superhero fatigue is just been misconstrued. It's just been misconstrued. And can I just say something real here too? This phase to me has exposed. I mean, I don't want to say because I know the movies have been a bit weaker, but we acting like we ain't never been here before. You know what I mean? Like the movies was definitely weaker in phase two. We acting like we ain't never been down before. That's been one of the more annoying parts. Is like you're seeing, like, yo, you weren't rocking with us. You weren't with us shooting in the gym back then. Like we're not where we were before. So yeah, that's a great effing point. Dang, did I lose my spot? No Way Home did do the fan service correctly. I think it did, but without the fan service, I don't think it would have been that great of a movie, though. To be real, facts. Mike Porter, Mid Man. It was Mid Man, Justin. That's why you my man's, bro. The Batman was not decent. It was boring, and I kind of called the Batman like 45 minutes before it ended. It was ridiculous. We won't see any connections for at least that is true, and that was a big f up. Like to have all of those connections in the Eternals. Not only the fact that it was like a long movie to watch in theaters, to have all those connections from the Eternals that could have been put out and they're still not touched on yet, that's a problem. I mentioned earlier on Certified Gumbo that Multiverse of Madness is Raimi on Rami. It's a very niche movie. If you don't like his stuff, you're definitely not going to like it, in my opinion. That's very factual. That's very factual. It was just a little bit too much of Raimi stuff on there. It was just a little bit too much Raimi stuff on there. What's going on, Jedi Jen? How's it going, home girl? All right. So, with that being said, let's shall we go to another place? And I'm gonna give me a second here. We're gonna pull this up. I want to get into my next topic of Miguel. This is where we get into some theory talk. I want to get into some theory talk here. Across into the Spider-Verse post credit. I want to get into some theory talk. Who is Miguel? Not necessarily who is Miguel. Not necessarily why is Miguel. Like what's Miguel's deal, bro? Like to be real, like what's good with your boy Miguel? What do y'all think? Do y'all think like Miguel is like really on this I have to keep the web of destiny intact stuff because he really thinks it's gonna break down? Or do you think like do you think like somebody else is at play? Here's my thing. I think Kang the Conqueror. I said it earlier. I think Kang the Conqueror, or the Council of Kangs rather, has something that played to do with this. I think we are starting to see the henchmen of Kang the Conqueror come out into play. That's just my thought, right? To me, it's becoming clear that Kang in the Council of Kangs uses people. They use their technology, they use their help, they use their power to use people. And their power is to be able to control time, to be able to manipulate time, to be able to go through time, see time the way they do, right? They use that to their event. You know, that's what the Kangs do. Think about Ant-Man. Kang wanted to use Janet, probably more than one way, but he wanted to use Janet in order to get his ship going because he couldn't do it himself, apparently. Kang had the TVA. He Who Remains was running the TVA. You had Ravonna running the TVA. She was doing that stuff for him. You have those things in place. To me, is I don't want to say it's clear, but it would make sense for Miguel O'Hara to have been approached from a Kang variant about keeping the multiverse in check with the Spider-Man. So let me start it here. Let's start off with Miguel in the first place and where he got this technology from. Miguel didn't make this technology. This technology wasn't something that was up in the air. This technology came from Lila. Lila is the one monitoring everything. And you know who Lila reminds you of? At least reminds me of the way she's moving around, the way she was talking in this scene. Let me make sure I'm not going to get sniped here. Lila was going to Lila was reminding me of Miss Minutes, bro. The way she's moving around, the way she's talking, she reminds me of Miss Minutes. And then she designs this. Yes, Parker Peter. She reminds you of Lila from the comics. But what do I say in my tick? Look, he's gonna trigger me, bro. This ain't comics, bro. This ain't comics. She reminds you of Lila from the comics. You know what? Miguel reminds me of Miguel from the top comics. Tony Stark reminds me of Tony Stark from the comics. But this ain't comics. So get that shit out of your head. Get that shit out of your head. For the most part, she's what she is in comics for the most part. But what they typically change from comics is origin. What they typically change from comics is connection, motivation, the why, the how, the when, the who. They keep a lot of character things. So yeah, she reminds you of Lila from comics, but this ain't comics. What a pointless comment, Peter. I tell you, Parker Peters. I apologize. To my that's unusual for me, but man, these comments shit. Uh, um, but where was I? We're talking about this right here, right? Y'all notice anything kind of funny here? This doesn't look anything like what the actual um this doesn't look anything like what the actual doodad looks like, right? I'm gonna pull up the Across the Spider-Verse trailer again so we can kind of look at what it ended up coming out looking like. Because he didn't make this. Oh my god, I was about to go full on Josh on him. No, I was not. I need to chill. That's not me. But nah, like you get triggered sometimes. And that's like the comics comments are the ones that trigger me the most. And I read like I legitimately like read comics, but I do not take comics as word as to what I'm about to see in the MCU or in Sony. Like I just don't. We're about to get a whole Secret Wars, and yeah, while components is coming from Secret Wars, that's like we don't even got Doctor Doom. Like we got a whole bunch of things changing. It's seeming like incursions aren't even when two realities like planets explode. They might. I don't know. Like we are doing things so much different than what you have in the comics. And that should have been established with how they did the Infinity Saga. Every single thing was different. Nothing was the exact same from the comics. So I don't understand why people hold on to it like it's gospel. Anyway, you see how the wristband looks right here, right? Let me see if I can get to when we see the wristband. Okay. Damn it, Bobby. I'm trying. Ah, shit. Here we go. I'm trying to get to this wristband here. I should have took a screenshot. That would have been the wiser. All right, there we go. Boom. All right. Share this tab instead. Boom. We see this here, and the whole time, like this is the one shot that's out there right now. The whole time, I've been thinking like their technology of being able to travel the multiverse to get to their spiders is pretty interesting. Now, like I don't have an explanation as to why. What's going on, Trinity and Carl? I don't have an explanation as to why the Spider-Man glitch and other people in other multiverses don't, right? Like that's still not adding up to me. But I'm sorry, Parker Peters. I love you, bro. I love you. It's all love, man. It's all love. Similarities and mismatches doesn't mean anything. That is true. That is true. But to me, they are eerily similar. Never go full Josh. I would never go full Josh. Going full Josh is something that only Josh can do. I can't go into that level. I don't got it in me, I don't think. I'm like, I do have it in me. I just don't have it in me to like show y'all. Uh and yeah, nobody on the internet I don't think will pull that out of me. But that being said, it's only 13 people in here. I can imagine that if I have as many people watching me, in which one day I will have as many people watching me as Josh got, yeah, it might be one of the motherfuckers that know how to get me. But anyway, back on track, back on track. You see this shit here though. That wristband and the way they were using it really reminded me of the Tim pads. Um, Not only that, you have Miss Minutes and Lila. Like I really feel like the way they're moving around, the way they talk, the way they observing the multiverse. If I go back here and you see what Lila is doing when she's You see what Lila is doing when she is talking when she first pops up here. Let me switch the tab. You see what Lila is doing, right? Like she's observing the multiverse. Not only that, she is the one who made the wristband and then made the band to stop them from glitching. That technology comes from the TVA, or ultimately came the ultimately came the Conqueror. What's going on, Parker? Whips. But that technology ultimately came from the TVA, and she's the one who's making it for Miguel O'Hara. Now, why would she be making it for Miguel O'Hara? Here's the thing. My thought and my initial thought on this is that Kang the Conqueror or the Council of Kangs understands that Peter Parker's will or want to do both, to save two people, to do whatever they can, like to stop these canon events. Peter Parker is a threat of stopping all of these canon events, these fixed point in times, if is what we call them in the MCU. Peter Parker's the one that's like Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, Spider-Gwen, all of those, they have a knack for effing that shit up. What the Council of Kangs needs right now, I think they're at a point to where they don't want branches and they have things perfectly weaved to work in their benefit. But what we don't know is how their benefit will eventually end up in Secret Wars and incursions into the destruction of everything, right? But that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing what I'm looking at here. I'm feeling like I'm looking at a Miss Minute scrolling the multiverse, and her coming out and talking to Miguel and making this wristband, making this wristband for for everyone to be able to travel multiverse, and essentially making this a TVA, right? Like, what totally, like, okay, Trinity says they have completely different jobs. Do they really though? Do they really have different jobs? Because they're scrolling through the multiverse, through the Spider-Verse, looking for anomalies that directly relate to spiders. Like they're not out here trying to stop timelines from pruning, like timelines from getting out too far from crossing the red line and then having to prune it. But what they are doing is they're out here making sure this thing works. They're out here making sure this thing goes into plan. Because Kang both needs Spider-Man, but he also needs Spider-Man to do what they want Spider-Man to do. And Spider-Man is probably one of the hardest ones to make a Destiny 4. So with that being said, I think it's confirmed that Miguel O'Hara was offered a deal from Kang the Conqueror to receive a timeline where his family's alive. He can live his life happily with his family in that timeline. Only if he makes sure these canon events take place, right? Only if he goes to make sure that with these Spider-Man's decisions to break the canon events to save as many lives, that their decisions to do that do not create more branches. Do not break the multiversal plan. And to me, that's what it's all about. Like I think their multiversal plan is very fragile. If you really want to think about it, I think that whole scene that we saw in Ant-Man Quantumania with the Council of Kangs, I think we're going to look back and find out that that scene actually took place after everything we're seeing now. Like maybe that scene took place leading into Kang Dynasty. So everybody messing up their plans isn't what we saw in Ant-Man, but messing up the plans is what we see in Across the Spider-Verse. Is what we're going to see in is what we saw in Multiverse of Madness. Is what we're going to see in possibly a Captain Marvel, right? Like that's what they're referring to, and not necessarily what happened in that movie. Um, So yeah, like that's it. Like I just really think Spider-Man are a threat to Kang's plans, to the Council of Kang's plans, and they're using Miguel O'Hara and his want to have his own multiverse, to have his own universe with his family, like back, like the same gift that Kang the Conqueror was going to give to Janet, that was offered to Miguel. So I mean, what do y'all think about that? Like to me, it makes sense, and the similarities that we see from the TVA, whether it be like the portals that they're coming through being orange, right? Whether it be the temp pad stuff that they're doing. Like to me, that orange portal and that orange stuff has something to do with how they are traveling the multiverse, as opposed to how we've seen America Chavez and her blue magic be able to travel the multiverse, which because I think she's using the Nord dimension. Um, that's something that's something completely different. We're not gonna get that sweaty. But yeah, like let me know what y'all think. Let me look in the comments here because I did peep and I saw Trinity having a little bit of a conniption over here. Let me see here. Let me see here. Where do I go up to? All right, Apple Watches, Spider Watches, it's all connected. It's definitely all connected. And another thing too, like for Miguel to have this knowledge, I feel like someone would have had to given it to him. I don't get the impression that Miguel is the figure it out type of guy. Again, the whole thing was made for Miguel. The whole like bracelet was made for Miguel. I don't pay Miguel out to be that type of figure it out guy. But then again, like I'm not that familiar with reading his comics or anything. I haven't read 2099 comics. So I don't know if he's necessarily the brains behind it all. All right, we talked about that. They have two different gerbs. Kind of sucks. I could use the extra engagement. What are you talking about? Miguel is a scroll. Yes, because the TVA goes and removes variants. They reset timelines. The spiders are removing variants and trimming branches. The Navy and trimming the branch Navy to their status quo. But here's the thing. They have a different role. They're playing a different game. I don't think this is gonna sound funny. I don't think pruning is necessarily the main role of the TVA either. But whenever you're trying to have a multiverse plan connect and weave, I don't think you can afford to even have a branch come out because that thing is going to be wound so tightly. I don't think they can even afford to have a branch. So my whole thought is Spider-Man are probably one of Loki creates events, branch events. But I'm pretty sure these Spider-Man are one who do too. They want to save both. If they can save both, they will try to save both. But you need the story to go a certain way. And like I said, we see where they're monitoring these canon events. Now, if they weren't monitoring canon events, trying to make sure they happen, you know what I mean? Then that'd be one thing. I'll be like, yeah, that make it a stretch. But they're monitoring these events, these anomalies is what they're calling them. They're making sure things go according to plan with the Spider-Man in the web of light. So to me, they are working for someone to keep the timeline intact. And no one else wants the timeline intact other than Kang, the Council of Kangs. And the people just popping up in here, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for dropping by. We got 15 people in here. We're still going. We're winding down here. We got another two topics to talk about. Let's see what's going on. Back to. I just thought it was weird. All right, here we go. It would just be weird to me to see Miguel firsthand that they can mess up. It would just be weird to me that Miguel is seeing firsthand that they can mess everything up. It makes it hard for me seeing accepting a deal like that. Well, the reason why he would accept a deal is to get his family back. I think he would do anything to get his family back. And maybe he does. Maybe Miguel does that. Yeah. I think Miguel would do anything to get his daughter back. Look at Wanda. Yeah, like to me, the whole story about him losing everything and bringing it back That's what makes me think that he is definitely pulling that off. Like, that's what makes him a prime target for that deal to go down. To say, "Hey, you want your daughter back? You know, a universe where you can have all of this? Make sure these things happen." And there could be a twist that he already got that. I don't think there's any collaboration between Sony and Feige due to financial implications. No, there definitely is. There's word out on the street from that good scooper Alex Perez. Sorry, my foot is fucking itching. There's word out on the street from Alex Perez that Marvel was consulted, especially when they were doing the multiversal stuff, that they were consulted. And you see where they were whenever they have that they're showing the timeline. They're showing the time stream. You see that there, that's straight out of Marvel's playbook. If Marvel wasn't consulted, if this wasn't connected, then that doesn't happen. Then that doesn't happen. What's going on, Trendy? We'll catch you later. So, what do you say? I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's connected. Yeah, y'all are wilding. Like you do realize, I was a doubter. I was a doubter myself. Um, because yeah, like to me, Sony was trying to make their exit. To me, Sony is like trying to do their own thing is what my whole mind has been doing. And now, like to me, Sony has been so stupid and so stubborn that they're gonna go down the road and really try to separate. But after hearing about one, after seeing the time stream, like that's just a clear on reference to what's happening in this movie. After seeing that, that's one thing. Two, hearing what people are saying on the inside about the Spider-Verse characters, like Carl just said right there about Spider-Verse characters being in the Secret Wars. I definitely feel like they're connecting. There's definitely some visual changes, right? But you can explain that by something that's connected to Spider-Man, right? Like that can Spider-Man could be his own thing. Again, the glitching could be a result of the web of life. The web of life having something to do with the glitching going out. So to me, it's like it's almost kind of certain at this point that they're connected. On top of that, Donald Glover being there, and like when I first saw the movie, and I kind of didn't want it to connect because in my mind it gives me more proof that the MCU is that this sacred timeline in the MCU is 616, which is another like pet peeve of mine of how everybody is trying to say it's 19999 when hell no. If you're saying it's 19999, say it for some other reason other than saying it's because it's in comics. Um, say it for some other reason other than that, I can accept it. Like at the end of the day, different universes are going to have different designations. But that, regardless of that being said, like I just really didn't want them to be connected for that. I just really didn't want them to be connected for that. But according to what I listened to Alex Perez say, and what a lot of other people are saying, is that that was the 616 Prowler. Like in my mind, I didn't think it would be the 616 like Prowler Donald Glover character, right? I didn't think that that would be him because when you think about where they were left off after the movie, they went off to their own way. Like they split off on their own way. Like and I thought that he would have gone on the straight and narrow after that. But yeah, I definitely think these two movies are connected. And as I said earlier, it should be connected. That's what they should want. They need to be smart enough to know that they're not gonna get anything else, not gonna get anything out of anything unless they're connected to the MCU because all they got is Spider-Man. All they got is Spider-Man. That's all they got. And you can't really make too many Spider-Verse movies um like that because they're not gonna eventually it's gonna get old to continue. Like it's just not there. Like I'm sorry. I feel like our Spider Gwen movie would probably flop. This was probably the best that we're gonna get out of Spider Gwen. Like I feel like a Spider Gwen movie would probably flop. for sure. But yeah, I definitely think they're just making a connection is definitely coming. A connection is definitely. All right. They do have Craven. Damn it. I forgot. They got Craven. I definitely forgot they had Craven. Fuck. What am I gonna do now? My whole take is demolished. Screw you, Carl Wilkstrom. Screw you. My whole take is fucked. Said no one. All right. Well, let's get into this article here. Let's talk about Elizabeth Olsen. Look, this I'm gonna be real. Like everything else, like I've talked about, you got time to think about your opinions and shit. But I haven't read it. I've just seen the headline. So we about to read it together because I have not read this shit, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it because honestly, I want to just get a little bit off my chest about some of these actors and how they talking and shit. Because Tom Holland also said he's taking a year off from acting. Like, bruh, all right, let's get into it. Which Tom Holland got some time to take off. Like, they ain't started yet. Like, he got some time to take off. Same as Sony, one vegetable at a time. I guess so, bruh. Then one veg. Is that what he meant? One vegetable? Damn, please don't let me say I fucked up. Either way, let's get to this shit. Elizabeth Olsen talked about, let's read the headline. Elizabeth Olsen admits she's not eager to return to Marvel. The fuck else you doing, Elizabeth? Elizabeth Olsen talked about a potential MCU comeback as Wanda Maximoff after Doctor Strange 2. At the end of Doctor Strange 2, the fate of the Scarlet Witch was unknown as she seemingly sacrifices herself. But many have wondered if the former Avenger will return to future Marvel projects. In February 23, the MCU actress previously played coy about a possible return, noting that she could be spoiling something if she answered. Despite that, Olsen admitted last April that she has no idea of whether she's coming back as Wanda. All right, here's the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about here. Speaking with Megan Faye in the Variety's Actors on Actors conversation, Elizabeth Olsen explained why she isn't eager to return as to Marvel as Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch. When Faye asks if she misses portraying Wanda, Elizabeth Olsen bluntly said no. Hmm. Noting that the reason why she isn't eager to return is due to the fact that she is really proud of what Wanda has achieved. Are you though? Um, are you though? Let's start right there. No, actually, you know what? I'm gonna let her read. Faye says people want to. Faye, here's the question: do you miss doing Wanda? She says no. I don't think. I don't. I think it's been almost 10 years of playing her, and I've loved it. And I think the reason why I'm not calling Kevin Feige every day with ideas is because I'm really proud of what we were able to do. No, no, you're not done. You're really just getting fucking started, Wanda. Like, hold up, like, can we pump the brakes on this shit? I'm gonna finish the rest of the article. But Wanda, you supposed to be the Scarlet Witch. That prophecy that you are the destroyer of the universe, multiverse, whatever, right? Like Wanda, Lizzie, like yo, realize what you are and realize what you signed up for maybe 10 years ago ain't what it is now. Like what like you important. Like you could have said something like this back if you were still a sidekick. Like, you know what I mean? If you was just an Avenger, you weren't getting your own shits. But Wanda, come on now. Like you top five, right? Like you and the importance of what I'm and the importance of what I think we're gonna get in Secret Wars and where we're going. I think you have to be like top five character wise. That's at least like alive and around. You know what I mean? Like of course you got Kang. Loki's important. Doctor Strange is important. Spider-Man is important. Wanda, you're gonna have to do some big things there, Wanda. I'm just not fucking with what you're saying there. But she goes on to say the MCU veteran continued by reflecting on her time with Marvel, pointing out that WandaVision was a really surprising opportunity. She says, I think WandaVision was a really surprising opportunity. If someone were to tell me that I'm fired from Marvel movies, I would feel proud of what we made. And I'm really just trying to figure out how to load up other films and characters so it becomes less about the Marvel of it all. And I get that. Like, you definitely want to branch out, right? And I think Elizabeth Olsen definitely has the juice to branch out. Like, I don't think she's one of these that's like, you're not gonna get past being a Marvel. Which unfortunately, I feel like that's where Tom Holland is headed. Which, I think Tom will do Tom Holland well because I think he does need to age. Tom Holland doesn't have that look of an older actor yet. He's not gonna get that respect as an older actor, and it's gonna be hard to view him in older situations with the way he looks, and that's just the plain simple point of it. Like, Tom Holland's gonna have to wait till he's older in order for that stuff to pay off, because I think he does have the chops too, but it's not paying off well for him right now. But it says in March of 2013, Olsen revealed that she wants Marvel to redeem the character of Scarlet Witch if she returns in future stories, and I think that's true. So when will Elizabeth Olsen return as the Scarlet Witch? That's the question, right? Elizabeth Olsen's latest comments about a possible MCU comeback indicate that she is at peace with the idea that Wanda will not return due to the fact that Marvel has already done so much with the character. Still, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige's previous remarks about working with Olsen again could hint at an eventual return for both the actress and the character. I'd like to work with Lizzie Olsen for another 100 years if I could. Anything is possible in the multiverse. We'll just see, said Kevin Feige. Interestingly, all right, I'm gonna skip down here because we're talking about could coming back for Covenant of Chaos, which he definitely could. But it says, interestingly, Olsen may have already teased her return in the Catherine Hahn led Disney Plus series by saying that she thinks she'll be back. He says, I don't know ever how to answer these questions except I don't think, except I don't. Like, I think I'll be back. All right, bet. Whatever the case, bet it's clear that Scarlet Witch's story is far from over. It's clear that it is. Now, reading this whole article, because like I was kind of more pissed off at the headline, which is a good job because that's what a headline is supposed to do, right? I was more pissed off at the headline, but reading this article, don't it just sound like she bullshitting? Don't it just sound like she bullshitting? Let me ask y'all, because you know how they say like a lawyer's job is they supposed to lie. Like Medea once said, like lawyer is what they really name is. Like a lawyer is supposed to lie. Actors are supposed to act. And when you a Marvel actor, you're not supposed to let the goods slip on anything that you got coming up. So let me put this question in. Is Lizzie capping? Oh, I don't want to add no fucking. Why do they have the add option button like right there? Why do they have to add the add option button like right there where you would normally put the post at? But let me get through some of these comments here. What you say? It says Liz is too smart. She could just be playing show me the money. She could be, but is she worth she could be, but is she worth the show me the money price? A light flickering back here? The fuck? Hey, stop flickering. How long has my light been flickering back there? Lizzie is too smart to not hint at her being done. She's definitely coming back. Yeah, she's definitely coming back. I think this is all cap. One, her greatest Wanda achievement was a Halloween throwback. She was looking good in that jank. She was looking good in that jank. I ain't watched HBO. Yo, I canceled HBO Max. She's a key to Secret Wars, and she knows it. She's just playing coy. Parker, fucking on point. Yo, Parker, whatever I said to you earlier, I don't even remember what I said to you earlier. I'm pretty sure it's nice. I'm pretty sure it was pleasant to the ears. I'm pretty sure it made us like come closer, right? Like we bonded there, right? Like I'm pretty sure that's what I said, like the type of thing I said to you earlier. Because this is spot on. She's key to Secret Wars and she knows it. She's got to be the one to turn Secret Wars around. Like to me, her and maybe Doctor Doom. Like she don't even gotta be in Secret Wars to be real. But it can be revealed that she saved the day later on, and we have to see it. Olsen is simple strong. I have seen Elizabeth Olsen. I mean, yeah, she's just not my she's not my my cup of tea. It's not my flavor of what I prefer, you know. Now there are some of that flavor that like I really like. Let me be quiet. Let me be quiet. Love these love these actors making millions with Marvel and want to do real films because like that's the whole thing of they got that shit like they care about what other people think. They care about what other people think. If you're Chris Hemsworth is a real motherfucker because he don't care what nobody else think. Chris Hemsworth said, "I don't care what you think about whether I'm a good actor or not. I'm gonna rack these checks, and I'm gonna have a bigger fan base than you ever have from doing these little dopey ass movies that get Oscar nominated, but don't nobody watch them. Who do you like? What do you want? What you want on your tombstone? Love by many? Well, you know what? That's actually about to be a fucked up thing because you want to be loved by few. You want to be respected by many, loved by me. But if I had to choose, I would rather be loved by a few but respected by many, as opposed to being loved by many but respected by few. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Y'all get what I'm saying? Ah, shit, I don't get what I'm saying. Um, that's what's up. Justin says, I think they already know she's coming back. Yeah, we know she's coming back. Yeah, she knows she's worth that money too. We all know it. She's coming back. Death and Love is pretty good so far. Only 2 episodes in. Yeah, I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it. It didn't trigger me at all. No, it did. It did. I was about to get myself in trouble, but I stopped. I stopped myself. I stopped myself. So look, we're gonna do something a little different because that's all I really wanted to talk about. What else did I have that I could say? I do want to talk about some other shit. um, oh, just some quick notes here. You know what I want to do? I'm gonna start a segment. Y'all know how like at the end of if you ever watch like PTI, like Pardon the Interruption on ESPN, like at the end of that jank, like they got the rundown, they got like a minute to like go through topics. That's what I kind of want to do. Like this is what I'm kind of gonna do here. Time is it? Nikki. What's up, Nikki? No, I enjoy the rainbow. I just got favorites. That's it. Ain't no spill. Ain't no T word spelling. Like, there's something to see in the whole entire rainbow. The entire spectrum, the whole entire rainbow is beautiful. But you just got favorites. You got a favorite flavor in there. Um but yeah, look, but we're gonna run through this. So like it's what? I'm gonna set my timer. I'm gonna spend like I'll make sure I only spend like 3 minutes on this because I really want to kind of get into this next shit. So I'm gonna put my 3 minutes on my timer, and I'm gonna get over these next three topics. That's what I think they were. 3 minutes. Three minutes on the timer. And that I've already wasted for. Damn, like you're not gonna autocorrect? Damn, autofocus. I already wasted 10 seconds. All right, bet. So first thing first, want to talk about Captain America Brave New World. The name is fucking trash. You need to change the name of Brave New World. Who the fuck thought of Brave New World for Captain America? Somebody in a stream earlier said, and I really liked it. They said they should have named it Captain America Dark Liberty. That shit slaps a whole bunch harder than Brave New World. Brave New World tells me they gave no fucks about the name. They ain't put no type of thought in the name. To say Brave New World from going from New World Order to Brave New World, it's basically like, all right, let's take out order. What can we put in next? New World Order, take that out. New World. All right, we got New World. What can we put in that? And somebody said Brave. Bruh, Brave New World sounds like a sequel to Aladdin live action, and they just need to do better. Um, do fucking better. Change the name again. Just change the name again. All right, next up we got Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion is looking good. I don't know if y'all did that whole passcode key shit to see that whole like 5-minute encrypted video shit, but that shit looked good. The most riveting Marvel 5 minutes of Marvel that I've seen since we saw Namor talking. Since we saw Namor up there talking, after he fucked up Wakanda, he killed the queen, and he said, "Bury your dead. I'm coming back." That's what. Uh, that's that shit. That was the best 5 minutes of Marvel I've seen since then. So shout out to Secret Invasion. I think that show is going to be a slapper. Um, I think it's just gonna be bad. Like I think it's gonna be a great show, bro. So I'm hyped for that. And the last thing's last. I got to talk about the Flash. The reviews are out for it. Yeah, it's seeming like it's a good movie, but that's all this seems like it is. Like it doesn't seem like it's a great out and out movie. And to be real, I'm probably not gonna go see it. A nigga don't got time to go to the movies that often like that, bro. So like if I'm going to go back to the movies to see anything, I'm taking my daughter to go see Into the Spider-Verse. Look, I was nervous about going to go see Into the Spider-Verse because she gets scared of some shit. But she saw it on TV today and she was like, "Daddy, that looked cool." So I'm taking her. Like, I don't think it was that scary. She saw Mario. There's nothing more scarier in that movie than when we saw Luigi get sucked into the Deadlands and we saw those bone zombies. So The Flash, that's it. The Flash, I'm not seeing you until you come out on DVD or until I can watch you some other time. Um, but yeah, that's it. That's the quick takes. We got crunch time here. I guess we can call that crunch time. What y'all think? What y'all think? Anything that stood out on y'all on that though? Let's see. All the leakers keep talking about how Secret Wars will bring back Downey Evans, Fox X-Men, and it might. But all I know is that but we all know it will also book in the entire saga. There will be callbacks to Phase 4. That's definitely facts. My daughter's 5'2", Peter Parker's. Parker Peters. My daughter's 5'2". So yeah, we're gonna take it there. My daughter is a little like she don't even really fuck with, in Moana when you got that lava monster, like she's scared of that. Like I am like a bit finicky about what I expose to her because she does just get kind of like scared a little bit. But I don't think there was nothing too scary in that movie. Like I said, she didn't get scary of Mario. And she loved Mario. Like, so the funniest thing is, I promise I'm not gonna get on a tangent, but you talk about your kids, you talk about your kids. I'm definitely probably gonna make like a YouTube channel for her. To watch and react to the shit that she watches. Because it was one day, like we went to go see Mario, maybe the week it came out, or maybe the week after it came out, we went to go see Mario. And oh, happy belated birthday and happy birthday to your sons, Daniel Fisher. That's dope. That's dope. Let me scroll back down and highlight that shit. Where is that? Let me highlight that right there. That's dope. Happy birthday to y'all. Um, but yeah, long story short, like 2 weeks after or maybe like 3 weeks after we saw Mario, we were somewhere with family and we was like, yeah, we went to go see Mario. And they's like, did you like it? Do you like Mario? And she explained the Mario movie in such a way that it made me proud. Like, she wasn't like it was a fun movie, they did this, did that. She was like, I really liked the movie. Um, and they said, "What is it about?" She was like, "Well, Mario got sucked into the world, and he got sucked into the Mushroom Kingdom." And like when she said the Mushroom Kingdom, that's when my eyes perked up, bro. I'm like, "Yo," she remembered the name of that shit, and then she started talking about the troopers, and she started talking about Bowser, Princess Peach, and Toad. Like she was saying all the names, and I was like, "Bruh." Since then, I've been just asking her shit about what she watch. Like she be watching hella different shit on Netflix and on and she watches the shit that come on YouTube TV and she watches stuff on Disney Channel. She does some different shit. Like she watches some different shit. So I'm excited. Like I think we're gonna I'm setting some stuff up back here. Like your boy, we just got monetized, got some improvements coming up. So I'm setting some things up in the studio to make it more chill and relaxed and more flexible so that me and her can watch some things and react to it. And put it on her kids' channel. I think that'd be dope. Again, like, oh yeah, and she loves she loves Young Jedi, The Adventures of the Young Jedi. She loves that joke. She doesn't get that. The funniest thing is, like, I was telling my wife, I can't wait until like the light bulb ticks that there's more out there because we were watching the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune just had their Star Wars week, and they had questions on there about Jedi. Like they had things on there that's like um Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I was like, did you know Obi-Wan Kenobi's a Jedi? She's like, what? And then and I'm not even like, Marvel's my shit, but and she's into Marvel already, but it's just cool seeing her get into Star Wars. I think Star Wars has a much more funny type of like path to take her down anyway. Especially now since all of these kids are getting introduced to the Jedi, just to find out that none of these Jedi are even going to like mean anything to them. If Kai Brightstar ever becomes canon, that's going to be a problem. Kai Brightstar Nubs and the other one I forgot ever become that's going to become a problem. Um, but I like it. I like Young Jedi, and she likes Young Jedi too. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. Yeah, the young Jedi is pretty good. My youngest is all over posting on her YouTube channel. I'm the hardest working editor. Hey, that sounds like fun. That sounds yeah, we definitely gonna have to like yeah, she's not gonna let me slack off at all. It's weird what they get scared at. Like my loves Nightmare Before Christmas, but she's scared of yeah, bro, of Brave and Ray. Like it is weird what kids get scared at, and it kind of gets frustrating because like you're not scared. You watch this, like you're not scared of that, but it is up to them of what they're scared of. But with that being said, can I talk just a little shit? Just a little bit of shit. Just a little bit of shit. About the NBA and everything. So, like, the NBA is quickly becoming a shit show, bro. The NBA is quickly becoming a shit show. And I love basketball. I've really enjoyed this last season of the NBA. It's great basketball being played all around, in my opinion. But the NBA has a star problem. I'm getting to it here. The NBA has a star problem because their stars are out here wilding out. If you don't know, like you should know by now. You should know by now everything that's happened with Ja Morant. From the expose articles, and by the way, like my friend works at the Post. When I say works at the Post, he's really the one that runs everything digital. I think he's the managing editor of digital over there, a deputy director of digital over there at the Post. So he runs their Instagram, he runs all that shit. So every time they do shit, he sends some shit before we really even get it out. And that whole exclusive article that they had on Ja Morant and everything that went down over the summer was just the tip of the iceberg because we knew about the whole club incident with him taking a gun out. Just a complete stupid idiot because we know he ain't made that for their life. Like nothing more, not much more needs to be said on Ja Morant. Like everybody knows about it. I'm not here to give a take on Ja Morant or to be laying into Ja Morant. Everybody knows Ja Morant's situation at this point. If you know anything about the NBA at this point, right? But on top of that, he's one piece of the future, right? One piece of the future of the NBA. The other piece of the future, the true piece of the future, the true superstar of the future of the NBA, Zion Williamson, not only has he not played basketball in a very long time. I'm gonna be real. If Zion Wilson were to play every game, Zion Williamson, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm saying Wilson. If Zion Williamson were to play every, not even every game, like 60 games, if I knew he was healthy, I knew he was on the court, I would have bought League Pass to watch Zion play. I am a Duke fan. I have been rooting for Zion to do his thing since he's come in. Zion reminds me of how I would love to play the game. I am a stocky low to the ground. I'm 5'9", stocky low to the ground, dude. But guess what? I be playing power forward with the 6'3s and the 6'4s because I don't be playing with no 7 foot. I be holding down people that's like 4, 5 inches taller than me because I use my stocky body, I use my strength, I use my effort, and I use my weight to move people around and to just take the ball. I play bully ball. I play maximum effort ball. And I'm a good point. Like I got the vision, I got the playmaker, but this ain't about me. It's about Zion. Not only has my man's not been playing all season, my man's has been John Morant been the one taking the guns in the club, but he ain't shot none. My man's Zion Williamson is out here shooting up clubs. And I ain't talking about with no guns either. He up in here shooting up clubs. And they ain't no with no gun, which is typical NBA gold digger type of thing. And if you don't know what shooting up the club means, it means basically he getting bitches pregnant. Zion is worse than Kyrie. It's not even that he's getting he's out here. It's not even that he's out here getting bitch pregnant because people do that. People got ratchet baby mamas, right? But it's who these ratchets are. First off, I don't even know the baby mama's name. Well, apparently it's two baby mamas, but we're gonna call the baby mama the one that he took that picture with. And if I was better, I would just have more than this picture up here. I would actually have like what's happened, right? Um, but he took that whole picture, put it all out there, like who his baby mama was. And then all of a sudden, people started to put two and two together to be like, hold up, he out here wifing this ratchet. And if you don't know, I'm gonna dance around this lightly. If you don't know, Zion's baby mama got a video out of Twitter of her beating the brakes off of this woman. Now, I'm not even gonna like talk too much. Like, I'm not gonna because the other woman, like to me, started the fight. She swung the first hit. Thing was, Zion's baby mama looked like she had a phone in her hand or some shit, and she just started wailing. And then at a certain point, it got to the point of where this woman was bloody. I don't even know how it happened. Shirts got pulled down, certain things popped out. It was a crazy fight. But at the end of the day, we knew that one girl in the blue had hands. And she put the hands on the girl in the orange, and it went down like that. Little did we know the girl in the blue would be Zion Williamson's baby mama. And the word on the street is that that whole Twitter fight was over Zion. Long way of saying, fast forward to today. Well, yesterday, after he posted that, somebody by the name of Mariah Mills, who is a porn star, a P star, what they call him online. She's an adult entertainment star. Starts exposing Zion for trying to keep this other baby a secret. Look, this girl, the P star Zion. I doubt that she's an adult entertainment star. I doubt that she would even care that you got anybody else pregnant as long as she's straight, bro. But Zion out here looking down bad. All that to say, like, this ain't, you know, it once held as the future of the NBA, like stardom wise and everything like that. And let's be real, like you got Jokic out there, and Jokic on paper might be the best player to like end up playing ever playing the game. But at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to be viewed any higher than Tim Duncan. That's the amount of respect that I think the Joker is going to get out of NBA because he's boring to watch. Tim Duncan is great. Barely stop him when you wanted to, right? Like when there's times when Tim Duncan looked unfucking stoppable. But He doesn't get his love because he's boring. Same thing with Jokic. Times where Jokic looks unfucking stoppable, but he's boring to watch. And he's won MVP 2 years in a row. He probably should have won it this year. That's why they needed Ja Morant and Zion Williamson, some two high flyers, drafted in the same year. Two high flyers drafted in the same year, taking the league by storm. Like Ja Morant really took the league by storm. He's developing that three ball too. Zion Williamson, when he's on the court, it translated. Like people was like, is he gonna be able to do what he did in college in the NBA? And that shit translated. But now they're in shambles. So I just think it's funny because it's not even like they're really breaking laws, right? And Adam Silver even says it's not like they're breaking laws. They're just not good looks. They're not people to be like when a John Morant shoe commercial come on. I'm attaching John Morant situation to the commercial. Like I see the commercial come on, I'll be like this bit, like this motherfucker. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm like that. Now the next time I see Zion Williamson on the court, I'm gonna be laughing about him talking about how happy and excited he is. Um, he's like, just let me know how much I gotta pay, but I'm just really excited in a Snapchat message over a conversation. I feel like shouldn't even be a Snapchat message. Now I will say, like, I always find it troubling when people like this person post screenshots and messages that don't show their replies. Because to me, then you're telling a narrative. You're trying to control the narrative. Like when you posting a message and you don't share the replies, you're controlling the message. Yeah, you're trying to control the narrative. But yeah, like I probably could have put this in 3 minute jump. But it's to me, like this shit is hilarious. To me, it's one of the funnier things. And what makes it even funnier is they were on the same AAU team. Like, as remarkable as the story is, like, bro, as remarkable as the story is, that these two players will be on the same AAU team and be drafted 1 and 2 in the same draft, and not only be drafted 1 and 2 in the same draft, but be heralded as the future of the leagues, right? Of the league, the two futures of the league. Because you're really looking for it because LeBron getting older, KD's winding down. Like Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, like all those dudes are cool, but you don't have your showstopper, like the one that people are all like when LeBron's in his prime, you're going to watch it no matter what. Even LeBron now, like you're gonna watch it. But it's just funny, bro. It's just funny that these two are going through a situation. Again, they ain't breaking no laws. They just out here wilding. They're just out here wilding. Like you got one out here taking guns out in the club, can't stay out the strip club with the gun, and then taking the gun out when he on live and just holding it up. Like, don't nobody be holding up guns for no reason, bro. Especially when you're an adult, dog. You got him doing that, and then you got the other one acting like somebody who ain't never get none before he got rich. Now that he rich and he can get anything, you see where I'm going. He's showing some weird behavior. Seem like he don't know how to. It seem like he don't got no riz. I don't even really 100% know what riz is. I'm like 9. I'm about really probably honestly 10 years too old to be even saying riz. But it's what he don't got. It's what he don't got. And it's evident based on the trash he's attracting. Now, don't get me wrong. It's easy. When you got money, it's definitely a lot easier to get you those types of women out there like that. But you still got to put in some work to get your ones who ain't just straight up trash. And what Zion getting right now is trash. And what does trash do? Trash stank. Trash motherfucking stank. And Zion got a lot of stank around him right now. That's all I'm gonna say. But look, hey, let me know in the chat. Y'all had a good time tonight. I kind of tried to switch up the show a little bit, try to be more chill, try to be more calm, but also be more kind of on the edge a bit here. While I still give you the good things and speculation. So if you enjoyed tonight, put a fist in the chat. Put a finger in the sky. Put the fingers in the sky. I need to get a new chair, bro. My ass is hurting right now. Like, like I kind of had to get up slow. Like my ass is like, oh, all right. Hey, look, I appreciate it. I appreciate the love, y'all. Peter Parker's, much love to you, brother. It's much love to you, dog. Much love to you, bro. Hey, look, we're gonna be back here again. Trying to get two streams a night. The wifey on board with it. I just really you know, shit. Here we go. Y'all know how I get at the end of the stream. I'm supposed to get off and I start talking about how shit going. Like I'm just one of those people who is very, how do I put it? I want to do shit when it's ready to be done instead of like getting just go ahead and doing it and then working the way up to it. So I would like to have stuff set up to where I want it to be set up a month from now to where it's going to be set up from a month from now. So that means I would rather wait a month from now to start doing like the stream. So for example, like, I'm going to be using this YouTube bread to like not only start memberships because we are starting memberships uh in July and we're going to be doing a membership giveaway in July. So you gotta be a member. Look out for that. But like I want to have this shit set up. Like I'm gonna be moving the camera back, have more room. Actually, like probably have a whiteboard back here. Just have some fun stuff. Like to be able to just like have more relaxed streams, right? 2 streams a week, not a night. I'm tripping. 2 streams a week. Um, but like a part of me wanted to be like, yo, just you shouldn't stream because everything not ready. Like you want your production to look better. Like I want the screens to look better here. Like I want everything to be set up a lot better. Um, to be matching up with because like shit, like this shit's changing every day. When people thought streaming and shit like in podcasts get played out, my fucking Pat McAfee just becomes the highest paid person at ESPN. You know what I mean? Um, and with that comes the need to step your shit up. You know what I mean? Like people are throwing like this is starting to get real. The production on this shit is starting to get real. Um, and yeah, like that's what I want to build towards. When people drop in here, this looks like and sounds like an official fucking like a show that people are producing. Um, so yeah, like I don't know. I don't know what got me on that, but it's like part of my shit. Just like being like, well, I'm gonna just come down here and work on these shorts, and in the meantime, I'm looking at this, like looking at shit I can buy. So that's my way of getting there. So I just want to make sure everything is right, what I need to do, instead of just getting out here and doing it. Because really, what I'm doing out here, getting out here doing it, is actually getting better each time, right? Like you get better each time when you do it. Um, and figuring it out so that when I do get the shit back here and I get it set up, the actual setup to look and feel the way I want it to, myself will look just as good as my setup. Know what I mean? So with that being said, I guess the nugget is if you're doing if you're waiting to do something, you're waiting for the perfect situation to do something, stop waiting and just do what you got. Just do what you got and work your way up to it. So that when you're ready, when it's time to be ready, you don't gotta get ready. That's what they say. You stay ready so you never gotta get ready. So go ahead, get yourself ready now and stay ready. You know what I mean? But either way, look, that's it. Ain't that deep. Ain't that fucking deep. But yeah, like definitely want to get 2 streams on a week. Just gotta like solidify it because I do have city council meetings. Not city council members, it's my fucking job. Um, I do have meetings like on every other Tuesday. Well, on the second and fourth Tuesdays, I have meetings. So on those Tuesdays, I may just move the streams to Wednesdays and just stream on Wednesdays and Thursdays. But we're definitely gonna be having some dope streams for definitely gonna be having some dope streams for Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion is about to be crazy to stream, bro. Like I don't know, like I don't know if Secret Invasion is going to capture the mystery that WandaVision did because WandaVision had a whole bunch of witchcraft shit going on. But I might really have to get like the bulletin board type shit, like the post-it board type shit, um, for Secret Invasion for the streams or whatever. But like I said, like I want to have some more space behind me, have some fun back here. Even though like I am digging this light and the vibes that's giving me there, it just really kind of added some extra to the background here. I'm really digging the vibe. Um, but yeah, be on the lookout for that. Got some videos popping. Trying to get a video out this weekend. But I'm trying not to over promise and under deliver. So just be on the lookout. I got shorts coming. You want to keep checking them shits out. They're gonna keep coming with harder theories. I'm gonna keep hitting you upside the head with those. So check them hoes out. We're gonna be streaming next week, Wednesday. I got council meeting on Tuesday. So Wednesday, we finna be streaming. Next week, and then Thursday as well. Thursday for sure is always going to be the time at 9 o'clock. That's where we're always going to be streaming. So make sure that you come back, hit that notification bell so you just fucking know. So you just know when we're streaming. Hit that notification bell so you know, and we'll see you in the next one. Damn it. I guess I wasn't ready to leave.